So, hi everyone. My name is Babar, and my partner's name is Krutarth. And our project was the testing of the antimicrobial properties of artificial sweeteners against E. coli, Staph aureus, and C. albicans, 2 bacteria and 1 fungi, and also how they promote effects on antibiotic tolerance in bacteria. Now, for the introduction, we know that artificial sweeteners are a very common way to replace sugar in food products. And the reason is that they mimic sugar very accurately, and they bring that level of sweetness which people crave in sweet foods or desserts. And according to research, they do exhibit antimicrobial properties, as well as promoting effects to bacteria. And essentially, we wanted to see how they promote antibiotic tolerance in bacteria. And objectives were straightforward. Really, we wanted to see and compare sucralose and aspartame and see which one is the most effective at inhibiting growth of bacteria. And we all wanted to see which one is also effective at promoting antibiotic tolerance. And for the hypothesis, really we want to compare the two, and we want to see how effective they are against bacteria and fungi. We know fungi are eukaryotes, and we know bacteria are prokaryotes, so we want to do that comparison. Lastly, we want to see which one is more effective at promoting antibiotic tolerance. And yeah. So for the materials and methodology, we had 3 methods. Number 1 was MIC, which was just the minimum concentration required to inhibit growth of E. coli and Staph aureus. And the next one was agar dilution, so we infused samples of sweeteners in agar and TSB broth, and we want to see our test tubes, and we want to see turbidity, which simply means that we got growth. And the last one was the test for antibiotic tolerance, which was done via disc diffusion, and that was used to measure the susceptibility of E. coli and Staph aureus. And we use a concentration of 20 milligrams per milliliter, or ppm. And E. coli and Staph aureus were obtained from overnight cultures, and the cell concentration was adjusted to 10 to the 5 cells per milliliter, and then they were uniformly distributed on TSA. And the last step was to simply analyze our zone of inhibition and measure them, and that way we can conclude which sweetener was more effective at promoting antibiotic tolerance. And here's just a simple flowchart indicating the antibiotic tolerance step from the previous slide. And our last test was against C. albicans fungi. It was also very straightforward, where we infused samples of sweeteners in agar, and if we wanted to see how much growth we can get for the fungi, so we just streaked it on the surface of the agar, and then we just incubated it for 37 degrees, and then we just observed the next slide period for any growth. And that wraps up materials and methodology.
So, okay, thank you, Babar. So I'll be taking it forward from here. So I hope everyone's doing well. So I will be taking it forward from here. So we're going to discuss results, discussion, and conclusion, and we'll be finishing off this presentation. So as you can see on the screen, I have disk diffusion method. We'll be starting off with disk diffusion method. So as you can see, I have this table on the screen, which includes the positive control and the results for the media infused with sucralose and aspartame. So as we can observe this zone of inhibition values, we can observe that the zone of inhibitions were found comparatively smaller in the non-caloric sweeteners. So we can observe that conclude and observe that the resistance of the bacteria was increased by using by when they were growing on the non-caloric sweeteners and the media. So it totally confirms and proves our hypothesis. Moving on, the next method we did was the broad dilution method, which is a simple MIC method to recognize the least amount of antibiotics required. As you can see, here are the increasing dilutions, and we used streptomycin as the antibiotic. I won't bombard with all the tables, but what we found in this method was as we used the tubes that were infused with the non-caloric sweetener, it was found that somehow this non-caloric sweeteners made the organisms more resistant towards this antibiotic, and we found the growth to come all the way up till 1 by 256 or 1 by 124, which again proves our hypothesis to be correct and accurate. Moving on to the next slides. Same, the results, as this is for the aspartame. Moving on to the next table. I have a lot of tables here. Okay, this one's for sucralose, and we can clearly observe here it shows positive growth in 1 by 124 dilution, which in the only tube containing only TSA, it was still 164. So moving on to the next method, we did fungal resistance test on our fungal isolate. So that antifungal agent that we took for this experiment was nystatin, which is commonly used in a lot of antifungal creams, and it's a well-known antifungal agent. So the media was brilliant heart agar, which is supporting fungal growth, and as you can see, we incubated the plates for 35 degrees Celsius and 48 hours. Here are the results for this test, and we found that as the concentration was decreasing, the growth was supportive, but in this particular test we didn't found any concluding results, as in to conclude that this test totally supports our hypothesis. But yeah, we can conclude this, that when it was the concentration was 6 mg per ml, it was negative, but as soon as we just reduce it by 1 mg per ml, it was positive. And we did for positive controls, and it was positive, showing positive growth in none of the plates, but it is showing two positive results with using the non-caloric infused media. So moving on to the discussion and the conclusion part. So this results indicates that whatever we found, we can conclude using that the artificial sweeteners, the non-caloric sweeteners that we used, they do pose an impact on the bacterial development and its growth, and it provides a certain limit of resistance to the organism, to the antibiotic and antifungal agents that we used. For it can provide resistance to both fungal and the bacterial isolates. and the key aim was to shed light on this, and further research can be um, a point of keen interest for health and food sciences. So that's everything from my side. So that would be all from my side. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, you can do ask us in the comment section. Okay, okay guys, thank you.